Top of the morning to you, Susie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey everybody, my name is Luke. That is, of course, the one, the only, beautiful Susie. This is the Outdoor Gear Review, and today we are out for an overnight adventure. We are hitting the road now. We should be picking up our permit in roughly 45-50 minutes. We will talk more about that in just a little bit. What a chore it was to get that permit. We'll talk about that soon enough. First, let's go get some gas. Now with this adventure, everybody, this has been fully planned out and realized by Susie.
Yay.
She's responsible for this one, and I cannot wait to share with you all this adventure because this is going to be an awesome one. It's going to be a wet one. Why is that?
Because I picked a trip that has 32 water crossings. We are so lucky to live in the area that we do because even within just a couple of hours of driving, we have so many options. So I found a trip that we've never done, had to jump through some hoops for a permit, but it's all planned and we're on our way, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Now, if you folks decide to come out onto the parkway to do this sort of adventure, there's one thing that you need to plan on, and that's going very, very slow. The parkway, the speed limit is split 50-50 between 35 miles an hour and 45. Most of the time, it seems like it's 35 actually.
Yeah.
But it's incredibly slow. It takes bloody forever to go anywhere. We're not really driving that many miles to get to the ranger station to pick up our permit, but we will be on this road for like an hour at least. Now, it is pretty funny. In a previous episode where I went backpacking and I camped out on this cliff, I started the video off by, showing you all some driving, and I sped up that footage to make it a little bit more interesting because when you're inside of a car, everything looks kind of slow when you watch the video. I got so much grief over that because nobody thought I stopped at this stop sign. And what it was is like the video was sped up like 300, 400, 600%. I came to the stop sign and it looked like I just rolled right through it. I do stop for stop signs. Don't worry, don't get upset. Susie does too.
We're good drivers.
So we have our permit ready to rock and roll. Later on tonight, while we're having dinner, we will talk about the hoops that we had to jump through to get this permit because that was not a straightforward process, and we will tell you why later on. We have 15 miles to go to get to the trailhead, and it's going to take 33 minutes to get there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, nice and slow. So we are on Long Bottom Road. We are heading to the trailhead now. Now, the one thing that we've noticed is that there is a ton of trash out here. Every house seems to be like a used car lot with just like cars and garbage everywhere. That is how it is out in the country oftentimes. So I'm not too alarmed by that. But most of these houses, which are being lived in, they need a lot of work. Some of them have like entire walls that have caved in, but you can tell people are still living there. It's pretty wild. Now this is pretty funny. We passed one place. It's like a small little cabin sort of thing. It had like a chain link fence wrapped around it. But in front of the gate were probably like 3 or 4 of the gigantic TVs from like the 90s. So I wonder, are they his televisions or did somebody just come by and drop them off? Susie.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All packed up and ready to go.
Yeah, I am. What about you?
I am definitely ready to rock and roll. What a beautiful day. I'm ready for this trip. 2 4Runners side by side. Check this out.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. So I could tell there's 2 sex machines out on this trail. Me, somebody else. What? Let's try that again, everyone. We came back to the car because we forgot to spray ourselves down with tick spray and sunblock. Luckily, Smart Susie's here. I love Smart Susie.
Woo!
For this adventure here, we have roughly 10 miles to do. It's 5 miles up, 5 miles down. We will essentially go to a cabin at the end of this trail. There are 16 water crossings going up, 16 coming down, 2 waterfalls. And let me tell you folks, it's warm. It's like 75 degrees down here. Looks like we have some sort of dam here. I'm going to go check it out. It's just a dam out in the middle of the woods. I wonder why it's there. So where we are at is essentially the base of the mountains. Down in the flatlands now, heading up. And we have roughly 1,800 feet to go up over the course of 5 miles. The name of the trail that we are doing today, this is Basin Creek Trail. Tonight we will stay at the Basin Creek Cove, and already there's a lot of water. This trail is wet. Is it wet enough for you, Susie?
It is wet.
This is considered by many to be one of the most beautiful trails in the Dotton Park area. Now with the Dotton Park area, this park system is roughly 7,000 acres. And it used to be known as the Bluffs Park back in the 1950s. Before this was a park system, this used to be an old community in the early 1900s. In 1916, there was a devastating flood. And it came through, there was landslides. Everything was destroyed except for one cabin, and that is where we are going today.
So guys, as we're hiking along, we should find lots of ruins of the older cabins that were taken out by the flood. I can't wait till we get to that cabin. It is called the Caudle Cabin, and I'm hoping we can go inside.
Now for this adventure, this is the beginning of April, and this is the time to do this trail. Especially the further you go, because it can become overgrown with weeds. This is not a very popular trail by any means. So the later you do this trail, the higher the brush, the undergrowth is going to be. It almost looks like a microburst happened,
Yeah,
because
major.
everything here is just flat. So, Susie, first pile of bear poop for the season. Check that out.
Oh boy.
There are definitely a lot of black bear in this area. We will throw up our bag tonight, and we will have to because the bear, they're waking up. They are going to be hungry.
They want food.
Yeah, they want some trail food from Susan. So far, this trip has been beautiful. It's a pretty gentle trail. The uphill is pretty gradual so far. It's a little bit muddy, but it's really nice.
It is nice.
It's really nice. Good job, Susie. I'm just going to hop, skip, and jump right over it. And that's how I do it. Now, the next time I try that, I'll probably twist my ankle, fall in the mud, get soaking wet. This is what I would consider our very first real water crossing. Susie, you want to lead the way? All right, guys, words of wisdom. Anytime that you're stepping on water rock, make sure to step carefully. Plant your foot firmly because they are typically very slick. So we are coming up on the campsites. Let's walk through. You want to?
Yeah.
I love the chair. Check that out. To be honest, I did not expect such a huge campsite area. I'm not sure how many sites there are, but I mean, as far as I can tell, there's a bunch. And also there's a ton of food storage containers here. Plenty of those. So with that being the case, you do not have to worry about hanging your bear bag. First things first, everyone, I've got to take these legs off. It is way too hot. Susie, what's for lunch?
We are having tuna wraps, which essentially is just tuna with mayonnaise on a tortilla. Nice and simple.
This is like a lemon tuna, and the next one is sweet and spicy. And let me tell you folks, it is hot. Good, but it's hot.
We should have ate that one first then.
Probably. Cheers. When it comes to our plan, we could set up camp, leave all of our gear here, and continue on with the trail, but that's not what we are going to do. If you're extremely trusting and you want to take that chance, you could set up, ditch everything, and go hike, but I'm not doing that. Not here, not on Long Bottom Road.
We never do that. We never leave our stuff.
Nope. If we were further away from Long Bottom, I would consider it, but we're about 1.5 miles in. That's a little bit too close for someone just to grab your stuff and take it straight to their car. This one has the pepper in it. This one's going to be extra hot. It's good.
So good.
Oh my gosh, that pepper is kicking in.
Woo. Oh, that is good.
So the sign said there's 8 spots out here. No one's here. I would not be surprised if tonight we have the entire place to ourselves. Cool rocks, walking right next to the creek. It's absolutely beautiful out here. Finally, some elevation gain. I was wondering if this trail was going to be easy the entire time. It is definitely getting steeper.
Steep.
This is where we're going to begin gaining that 1,800 feet, because it's been pretty leisurely the entire time until now. The trail has pretty much taken us now into this valley, and we're beginning to walk up that. We are surrounded by these gigantic mountains. It's beautiful. Ew. That is mushy. Wow, everybody, that is awesome.
That is so cool.
My great-grandfather, he used to talk about the flood of 1916. He said like the night that it took place, there was like all sorts of crazy flashes in the sky. Not lightning, but like flashes of like different colors, and crazy stuff was taking place. There was like landslides. It was a major, major flood. Susie did not feel comfortable coming across that way, so she is going to put on the water shoes and come across that way. Anytime that we're out backpacking, we never ask each other to do anything that we're uncomfortable with. So she's changing shoes. We'll be across this in just a minute. Go, Susie, go! Good job, Susie.
Oh, thank you.
How was it?
Very cold, but at the same time refreshing. So sometimes I don't feel comfortable trying to do jumps with like a pack on. I just am always worried maybe I might slip. So honestly, I'd rather just make sure I do it in a way I know I'll make it.
And folks, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know what I love? Well, I love so much about Susie, but there's one thing that I really, really, really love about her is that she's like 100% woman. She's feminine and beautiful and soft. In my opinion, the way that a woman should be. That's what I'm attracted to. For me personally, everybody else's taste could be different, but I don't want a woman who's wearing football pads running through the forest jumping and stuff. So thank you, Susie, for being a woman. So I just did a map check. We're about halfway there. All right, Susie, time for another crossing.
Oh boy.
Thank God for that breeze. Woo. It is unbelievably hot today.
So hot.
I forgot what it's like to be off of the mountains because whew, at home it's 65 degrees and it's like 80 here today. So we crossed the stream there, and this trail is very hard to spot at the moment. Is this the trail? Sure doesn't look like it. We backtracked, took a look at a map, and we figured out there's a couple of downed trees back there. It did not look like the trail went that way, but it did. You know, it's crazy to think that this used to be someone's home. At the turn of the century, somebody lived here, was living off of the land with a handful of neighbors, and that's it. It's pretty wild to think that each one of these chimneys is over 100 years old. I would have never have thought that there were this many houses out this direction at that time. One thing that you have to keep in mind though is that there were landslides and so on. So the landscape here is completely different than how it once was.
Whoa.
Slick?
Yeah.
Remember, rocks in the water are always going to be super slick. That is why when you put your foot down, you put it down. You don't scoot or anything like that. Otherwise, you will slide. Taking a quick breather here, definitely going up. The last mile might be pretty steep. The one thing I know for certain is, what was the name of the guy who had the cabin?
Martin.
Martin. Everybody hated his guts because he built his cabin way up here.
Way up here. Nobody ever came to his house for dinner.
Or nothing.
Nothing.
I have a treat for you, Susie.
Is it ice cold water?
That is exactly what it is.
Okay.
I say, once we hit the cabin and we come back, the first water crossing, we'll grab the filter and we'll get some ice cold water. What do you think?
Yes.
When it comes to the water crossings, we've done so many now. I've actually lost count. I have no idea. I mean, there's just, it's countless.
Yeah.
Little stream, big creek. Little
yeah.
creek, big stream, small creek. Over and over. So for the second time today, the trail just abruptly ended somewhere. So we're taking a look around to see if we could find where it goes from here.
It is steep, and of course, Luke runs it, but we're gonna trek it. Ooh, very steep.
You guys know I'd come back for my girl. The last bit of this trail here has been very, very steep. So if you come out here, get ready for it. Are you happy now?
Yes.
Are you sad?
No.
Tired?
Yeah.
Hot?
Yeah.
So right up here is the cabin. We've made it. I have no idea if you can get inside or not. Sure can.
Are you going in?
Heck yeah, I'm going in. All right, everybody, let's do this. Woo! So we have another door. Here's the fireplace. There's beautiful Susie outside.
Wow, am I glad to be here.
Here's the family that used to live here. How about that?
That's cool.
Here's all sorts of information about the family and the history. Different books for you to sign and stuff. That's so cool. That was a hard little trek up the mountain, wasn't it, Susie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heat.
Yeah, the heat is
The
what
heat,
kills
the sun, hot. The hotness.
you. Hotness.
The hotness. The heat and the sun just really zaps your energy.
Yeah.
And you're constantly sweating.
Let's go get water.
Water.
Ice cold water. Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
This has been a fantastic hike. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous. Wow.
Challenging but rewarding.
Yeah. So private, so peaceful. Haven't seen a soul. Wow. This is a very remote area, very poor cell phone service. So keep that in mind. Luckily, there's tons of water. Now, in the summertime, it should be mentioned that this grows up basically as high as your chest. So in the summertime, you may not make it to the cabin unless you really want to push through all the briars, grass, and bushes. So it took us roughly 4 hours to get up here. It's going to take roughly 2 hours to get back down to the campsite area, maybe a little bit quicker than that. Not planning to film too much. Want to get back, clean up a little bit, get set up, get a fire going. I can't wait for the fire, Susie, even though it's hot.
Yeah.
Get some good food.
Relaxation.
Yes.
If you do this hike, I want you to look in the blue book that's in the cabin. It's in a Ziploc bag. We left you guys a message. So do this hike, find it, and do what it says. That's all the information I can give you.
Are you ready for the coldest water of all time?
Yes.
Me too.
I need really cold water.
So you can hold this. This is the filter. Oh, it's so cold. You want to have the first sip?
Yes.
I tell you, everybody, I've been having fun doing all these water crossings with Susie here. That is a blast. You do have to be careful. Those rocks are super slick. You could fall, break something super easy. Still, it's a lot of fun.
Would you say that's the most that you've had to do on any kind of trail that you can think of?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is a lot.
How's that water?
Oh.
I would not want to come out here when they're calling for thunderstorms. You might be stuck on one side or the other for quite a while. Hey, tombstones.
Ooh, let's go.
We have come across some tombstones here. So I wonder, did she die in the flood? Because that was 1916. Susie, have you made your selection?
Yes, we are taking site 6.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
So we have a nice fire pit right here. Set up the tent over here. We could put our food in here. So here's a little trick that I learned a long time ago. You guys know that I hate spiders. Well, this prevents spiders from crawling into your backpack or onto your backpack and then coming out inside of your tent later on. Find a place to hang them and that won't happen. I remember this one time being in the Pisgah National Forest. I'm inside of my tent, I'm tired, and I felt something like run across. And I grabbed my flashlight and there was this big ass spider.
Yeah.
Like even now, makes my hair stand up. I hate spiders, guys, I really do. I'd ride a bear before I would even mess with a spider.
Ride a bear.
Yeah, I'd ride a bear. Now let me tell you, everybody, I have been looking forward to this. I always make sure to have a washcloth with me. Time to clean up a little bit. I have had sunblock running into my eyeballs all day. So I'm using half of this washcloth. Susie, you could use the other half if you want to.
I have a bunch of wipes.
You're gonna be begging me for my washcloth.
You're gonna be begging me for my wipe.
You're gonna be like, my God, husband,
gonna be like,
You're
my
such
gosh,
a
Mike.
man. You're so good. You're right about that washcloth. My wipe left me feeling all nasty, but this washcloth left you all feeling good and clean. That's how it's gonna go. Yep, just like that. What do you guys think? Washcloth or wipe? I don't even like the word wipe, so I win automatically.
Wipe, 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 wipe.
The best moment of the entire day, when everything is done. Cheers.
Cheers.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most tired, 1 feeling like you're ready to climb Everest, what are you?
An 8. And you?
I'm a 2.
Oh, yeah, right. Before the camera turned on, you were saying I'm so fatigued.
All right, guys, I'm
so
tired.
tired.
Yeah, the truth is, I'm tired. I tell you what, when you're hiking in the heat and you're hiking in the sun, it just wears you out.
It does. So what's your number?
I'm an 8. I'm a good 8. I'm tired. This is going to change that. The truth is, it might be a little bit late for coffee. It's about 7 o'clock, but hey, we deserve it. I could smell dinner from here. Yeah, it smells good. Talking about the state park and the hurdles that we had to jump over to get a permit basically involves getting in touch with the Park Service. Every single phone number we dialed and called was out of service.
Now, we're in the backcountry. We're camping at a primitive campsite. You can camp at those all year long. You have to have a permit no matter what the time of the year. But what we ran into is it's really hard to find the right person when it's not really in season. So we call this number, we call that number, all of them disconnected, no longer in service. Everywhere on the internet, every phone number was wrong. Finally, I found a number for the district office, but it was called The Bluffs. I just happened to stumble upon like a PDF
That had the phone number
that
in
had
it?
the phone number that, you know, because
God,
I was
that's funny.
thinking, I was like, actually, I'm not sure if we can even go camping. It's not really in season. And in fine print, it said from October till April 30th, you have to contact a district office for a permit.
In the description box down below, we will put the district bluff office phone number for you guys. This probably is the quietest place that I've been to in a long time.
It was really quiet.
I mean, you're so far away from any road, any houses, that you don't hear anything.
Just that water, that's all.
Yeah. Before we call it a night, I have one story to share with you all. This happened the other night. I was doing a test night video, so I was testing out this tent. Rain was coming in that night. So I started a fire, right? And I'm sitting there in a chair, I have my feet up on a log, and I'm just enjoying the peace, the quiet. And the truth is, I was kind of just dozing a little bit in my chair, just kind of like this, enjoying the heat of the fire. And I hear stomp, stomp, stomp in the leaves a little bit. And so it's pretty dark. And I look over, and I turn on my headlamp, and I see 2 eyeballs staring at me, right? I stand up, and that is where I scare this gigantic bobcat. He just about jumped straight up in the air and bolted. Like I saw like ears, and then like the butt and the tail.
And he was out of there.
Yeah. Oh man, what an awesome night. Yeah, I'm a yawner, I can't help it. But I tell you what, this is an awesome campground. It's so quiet. All that you hear is just water. That's it. We're about to get up and at 'em. We got things to do. The hike out of here is pretty short. It's only like 1.5 miles. But The lady needs coffee. And the key to a strong marriage is lots of coffee. You get them hooked on coffee, and they'll stay with you forever. That really makes no sense because she can get coffee anywhere. How'd you sleep?
Really good. What about you?
Very good. While Susie's been making coffee, I've been out playing, being a bad husband.
Laying?
Yeah.
Well, you got water.
That makes me a great husband.
How's your coffee?
Oh, that's good. Cheers, babe.
Cheers.
It's lukewarm, kind of nasty, kind of delicious. Just the way I like it. Taster's nasty really takes it down a little bit.
Down.
The morning started out blue sky, sunshine, and now the sky is black. The forecast was for rain to come in tonight, but it might be coming in earlier than that. Because it's getting so dark, we are going to finish up with breakfast, drink our coffee. We pretty much have everything packed up, ready to go. I think it would be a wise decision to get out of here.
Okay. Luckily, we're not doing 8.2 miles.
Yeah, and we don't have like 50 water crossings to do. So for this adventure, this has been a ton of fun. I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you very much, Susie.
Me too, thank you.
Without a doubt, rain is coming in. You could feel it in the air.
Maybe that's why I feel so stiff this morning.
Poor Susie, she has a crick in her neck. I'll massage you when we get home. Well, everybody, the adventure is coming to an end. Susie, good job on planning this. This was all Susie here. You rule.
Yeah, it turned out great. Thankfully.
Yep. What an amazing place to come to. I highly recommend this. Of course, do keep the seasons in mind. Keep in mind the conditions. Like, it's nice and cool right now, but yesterday it was plumb hot.
It was very hot. Hotter than I think even what we anticipated.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Strength and honor to you all. Bye guys.
Bye.